Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 247. I'm Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hey, that's me.
I see you actually have a beer this time. Welcome to the revolution.
Yeah, I have a PBR. That's good.
You're not even using the koozie.
Nope.
Oh my god, what an animal. I de-welcome you to the beer revolution.
Starla. That was the name of Turbo.
Oh,
Originally.
okay.
It's a way
That is
better
a
name.
much different name for a cat
It's
than
a
Turbo.
better name than Turbo.
Anyway.
I like that name. Anyway, I'm going to call Turbo Starla, moving forward.
I'm not going to remember that, otherwise I would too, because I will die on this hill.
Starla's a much better name. I love that name.
Patreon.com/Carbitrage. On this really cool customized webpage, you will find a couple of really low-end graphics done by me to indicate the two open-ended levels of support that we have for content consumers like you to support content producers like us. Patreon.com/Carbitrage. Also, holy shit, we've been doing this for 247 episodes.
Wow, me.
Damn, that's almost 250.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is
I guess we have
almost
been doing this a
250.
long time.
I feel like for a 250th episode.
Maybe for the 300 for the
Yeah, 300 or something.
250 is kind of a meaningless number, I guess.
I mean, it's a quarter of a way to 1,000. It's more meaningful than 300.
True. 300's just got that, that 100 going for it.
300's 3/10 of a way to 1,000.
It's got 2 zeros. Also, that was the sound of my banquet.
You mean your Colorado Kool-Aid?
Ew.
I already heard it today, and that still almost made me blow this thing out of my nose. All right, I want to start on a high note with a low note. High note being Jason Cammisa, who is awesome.
Yes.
Low note being pickup trucks. But anyway, this came
trucks
in.
can be fine.
They can be, and these at least are the most absurd ones that you can buy. And there's a fourth one not even shown on this image right here, but
Was it a Maverick?
Cammisa, no, even better. Cammisa, Hagerty now.
Ram 700?
Nope, cooler. Think older. Think older. Took a Rivian R1T,
Yes.
a Ram TRX, which
Yes.
is, for those of you that don't know, the Hellcat engined Ram, and a Raptor, which has a tuned-up 3.5 EcoBoost.
Yes.
And they drag raced them. And you first guess the order they came in on the quarter.
Rivian because EV, and then TRX, and then Raptor because Raptor's V6.
Correct. All correct.
Oh, wow, I nailed that.
Do you want to guess, in any unit you would like, the amount of distance between the R1T Rivian and the TRX?
2.5 bus lengths.
I'm going to say a semi-truck with a trailer.
More.
2 semi-trucks with trailers. A Freedom Convoy.
More.
A train.
More than a Freedom Convoy?
Well, more than 2 semi-trucks. Freedom Convoy, I don't know how long that is. I
Yeah,
didn't look
no-
that up ahead of time. Just think more nautical, maybe.
3 train engines.
That's
An
not
Ever
nautical
Given.
at all. Less than that. All right, fine.
A tugboat.
Closer.
2 tugboats. 2 tugboats of length.
More. It's okay. So 1/2 of a Titanic length.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the Rivian laid complete waste to the TRX.
Jesus.
So they hooked up a trailer to the R1T to level the playing field, and they loaded a Cyclone on the back of that. And the TRX then won, but it still beat the Raptor to the quarter.
That's amazing.
Pulling a
I
Cyclone.
love that.
And
I
then
really love that.
then they raced the Raptor against the Cyclone, and the Cyclone just destroyed it with the person who came up with the Cyclone driving the Cyclone.
What was the fourth? Oh, the GMC
Like a
cycle.
GMC Cyclone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
And as
Okay.
they're doing that final race, Raptor to Cyclone, the Cyclone just looks so teeny. I'm like, oh, old trucks were so much better.
I love old trucks. They're good.
But like,
We
dude,
saw-
a guy in a leather coat with glasses on that was so 80s, and he was the father of the Cyclone.
that so
was
much.
driving the Cyclone.
So, yesterday in traffic,
Yes.
we saw a 2-door first generation Ford Explorer.
Brief.
Okay. Whoa.
Very cool. Solid front axle.
Yeah.
Yeah, had like a cool brush guard on it.
Though
And
you do not see those up here anymore.
I forgot how cool they are, and I high key need one for a winter car.
There's a reason why you don't see them anymore.
I know.
Oh yeah,
Because
like
of the
half
winter
of it was
usage.
rust.
Because of the
yeah, oh, yeah,
1942
no.
decision.
That one actually, we saw it briefly on the highway because it made it about 1/8 of a mile down on 94 before it had to pull over.
Oh.
It was not shifting into top gear. It had a transmission issue.
Yeah, if it's one that's already destroyed, hell yeah, because you can get those in the manual.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I might have Darren keep an eye out for next winter. I think now's a good time to start looking for a winter car for next year.
Yeah, those are still worth nothing. So
Yep,
perfect.
they are. You're right. And that's a cool enough truck, one in decent nick. I could probably put in a burner trailer.
Anyway, so if you're watching the video version, you can currently see the playing out of the applesauce being dished
Wow.
out
Yeah.
by the
No,
Rivian.
that's just getting peed on.
So yeah, it was 356 feet, I think, and I looked at the Titanic. It was like 690 feet, so it is more than a half of a Titanic length that the Rivian, in the quarter mile, mind you.
1 second.
Yep.
The Titanic was not small.
No, it wasn't. I mean, by today's standards, it's teeny, but yeah, that was this
Don't
was
like
quite
to
the.
think about big boats. Except for the Titanic. I love the Titanic.
I mean, I was recently on the biggest commercial cruise ship in the
I like
world,
big
and that was
boats.
still like.
Ew.
I didn't get to see the engine room. Like, I didn't get to see anything cool.
I have a new
Yeah,
favorite.
they hide all of that, and it's like,
boat.
I want to see the boat stuff.
The Ever Given, the boat that went
Yes.
this was 1,312 feet, 1312 A cab.
Oh, that's what the 12 on the Honda meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what
yeah.
is 13? Well, what's the?
ACAB, all cops are bastards.
Oh,
that's
like
the
a
name.
telephone.
Yeah, exactly, like a telephone.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just found that out. 400 meters is.
But
So if you ever want to get like really obtuse for the protest sign, just write 400 meters.
Ever given length in
Just a photo of the Ever Given. You can get like really obtuse.
in imperial measurements.
You get very obtuse. It's like in China, just like having a Winnie the Pooh shirt is like a political statement. You just hold this sign with the Ever Given. It's a political statement. But so how
Oh
many
my
how many
God.
feet did the
360, 56 or 65.
So 1/4 the length of the Ever Given. That is how far that the Rivian destroyed those other trucks by. That's
That's probably a
bananas.
better.
look at that beautiful
Yeah,
cyclone.
I have to show you the cyclone
It's
race. I
so
mean,
small. Oh my
but
God.
like, look at this dude. He's boomer grip on the steering wheel and just absolutely laying waste to this 400 and something
Cyclone-
horsepower.
Like, I know it's smaller than modern trucks, but it's not a small truck.
no, it's Josh and Anna have S10.
Yeah,
which
same
is
size truck. But I mean, look, it's a stock
Destroyed it,
cyclone.
Oh,
I just love the old dude behind the wheel
Yeah, I
too.
love that.
Look at the grip on that.
Who is the guy that designed it?
I don't know.
I just-
Cammisa says in the video, but
Oh, that's just really cool.
anyway, that
I just-
I couldn't not talk about that.
I
Even though
love
it's
that
all
so
pickup
much.
trucks, but like that is just cool.
I like
Anything
old trucks.
featuring a cyclone is usually pretty nifty.
I wonder how fast it is compared to a Mighty Boy, the smallest pickup truck.
That would be a good fifth
Oh,
to
yeah.
have on there.
That'd be a good one to have. Is you have the
Because
smallest
then he could
possible pickup.
finish, do the monologue, and then the Mighty Boy would come
Yeah,
across.
exactly.
Then he could say, like, and the right answer.
The correct truck to get, yeah.
Is the Mighty Boy.
The K pickup Ute, tiny Ute.
Is that a Daihatsu?
Suzuki.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured it was a Daihatsu just because it had such a great name, but then I remembered Suzuki
They had little
also has a great
heart-shaped
name.
wheels.
Oh my god.
I did.
Can you have like heart-shaped wheels on one side, run all Teddy Grahams on the other side?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
AC Cortege actually had an entire entire catalog of heart-shaped wheels. So
It's an impressive feat of engineering to balance something like that out. I'm
Yeah.
sure with software it's easy as
Oh,
peasy now, but
it's regular wheel with heart-shaped holes.
oh, honey, that was
Oh,
the
okay,
Chevy
alright.
Love actually. That wasn't the Mighty Boy.
I want those wheels on a cyclone.
Yeah, the Chevy Love standard steel wheel. The Zuzu
Little
pup that was
hearts.
sold as a Chevrolet in the 70s.
I
The
know
steel
what
wheels.
a light utility vehicle is.
Yeah. So the Love had heart-shaped steel wheels. Yeah.
That's kind of cute.
But anyway, I want to talk about something completely different.
Can I just say, before you get into this, that I resent the fact that half of this article is in Comic Sans.
I didn't even notice that.
Ew,
I just
what?
had to find something.
Oh my god.
That's really bad. I just had to find something about this engine because I found that the engine existed with like no context. I had to look it up. But there's an
It
engine
really
called
is half.
the HAL DOHC. And what the HAL DOHC was a
Dual head overcam?
dual overhead cam. I'm sorry, DOHC.
I like that. Dual head over the cam.
Well,
God
actually,
damn.
to be fair,
It looks kind of like it.
that's kind of, yeah, you're not wrong. Because it has a timing chain, and it looks like a V8 until you look at like where the intake is. It's very strange. But, yeah, so the HAL DOHC was a dual overhead cam cylinder head conversion kit for Ford Model A, B 4-cylinder flathead engines.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like an Arden for the 4-pot.
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly like that. It's very, very, very cool. Except the Arden was still a 8-valve Hemi.
Oh, okay.
It still had it's still one valve per cylinder pointing up, and then just had, all that did is just rotated the exhaust valve over. So it's still an L head configuration.
Really?
Yeah. So when you say
I didn't know that.
a V8 8V is a Ardun flathead. Yeah, it's an 8 valve overhead
So
valve
all
engine.
that did was improve the combustion chamber shape.
Yes, and it moved the where the exhaust was, and just most of the power was gained from the different exhaust routing and the very strange.
I never bothered to look into it, but I was a little confused. I'm like, I wonder how they did that.
Yeah, no, they just moved where the exhaust valve was. Very, very, very weird. But the HAL DOHC cylinder head thing used a timing chain with like a super wide angle dual overhead cam system, where you still had your like spark plugs like in a tube down the center. It was very strange the way it looks, and then you have like 2 side draft carburetors on the driver's side, and then you have a tubular exhaust manifold on the passenger side, and it was made for sprint cars. But like, I'm sure this cylinder head made it into like hot rods somehow. Like, this is just
Back
cool
when
as
they were
hell.
cheap, yeah,
But
probably.
if you scroll through this article, there's actually photos of this engine.
I will
yeah.
try.
Don't worry.
Oh, God. All right, there
Yeah.
we go.
Phew. But it's really
That
cool.
car
'cause
is a shoot.
yeah, but like
Small.
they actually have like a disassembled photo of like the cylinder heads. It's really, really fascinating looking. It's super duper cool.
Whoa, cork gaskets. Oh, man.
And if you look at
safety wire.
the backside of the cylinder head, you see like the weird design where they like adapted the L-shaped combustion chamber.
Oh.
Yeah, so like the intake cam is like way over from where the exhaust, like the exhaust cam is like more or less like kind of straight up almost, whereas the intake cam like is like way like probably 8 inches, 10 inches away from the exhaust cam.
Did they
It's
do that
very
just
strange.
to maintain the compression ratio, or?
No, it's because it's an L-shaped combustion chamber. You still have to deal with the fact that the engine was designed with a combustion chamber that's wider than the piston bore. So this is like the coolest looking cylinder head I've ever seen. But yeah, the HAL dual overhead cam Model A engine.
I love that head is iron still. They didn't even bother to make it aluminum.
Yeah, I mean it's a hot rod part from like very
It's
limited
designed for a
production.
sprint car.
Yeah, but I mean like, it's a very limited production in the 1930s.
Hey, if a Pierce Arrow can have an aluminum body, this can have an aluminum head.
It could, but it doesn't, which I'm fine with.
That on the top view right here, it really looks like a Fiat twin cam first
It
gen.
does, yeah. It looks like that, and then you look at it from the side, you see the weird shaped engine. Like, this is just
Yeah.
very fascinating. to
That
me.
rear picture still looks like, somebody just like put show parts on top of a flathead to make people think that it was a twin cam.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the timing cover is entirely aluminum because the timing cover comes out where the crank like pulley would be,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just added onto the engine. And so they move the crank pulley forward like a lot.
Well, yeah.
Oh no, it doesn't even have a crank pulley. What the hell? Oh, this is just so fascinating.
Well, how does it drive a water pump? Oh, yeah. There's a hub on the front. That must be the water pump.
Yeah, I think that's your water pump is that hub. But like, I guess this is a sprint car that wouldn't have a fan.
Oh, this might have still been a thermosiphon.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because it was Model A. Yeah, it would be a thermosiphon.
A dual overhead cam thermosiphon.
There you go. That's the only one in the world.
I don't like that at all.
I love that.
I know
That's
you
why
do.
it's not an aluminum head either.
Yeah.
That's why it's an iron
Yep.
head. 'cause-
Oh
yep,
my.
that
Yep.
makes-
All right. That would warp like
makes-
a banana.
Yep,
All
that's
right.
exactly
We
why.
figured it out, ladies and
That's-
gentlemen.
That's very cool.
And non-binary.
That is the coolest engine I've seen in a long time.
Huh. All right. I'll move past it. It doesn't matter. Moving back to England, even though I think Lotus is owned by a different conglomerate right
I
now.
think they're owned by Chinese people. Most
So-
things in England are.
The Amira, we know about that. That thing's cool. My uncle has a reservation for it. But they have a new vehicle, which
Yeah?
I have the name for in the notes, but I don't have my
The
notes.
132.
The 132.
It's
So-
not even. It doesn't start with E.
The reason why I'm talking about it is because it kind of looks like a wagon,
Okay.
but I can't decide if it's a wagon that's been lifted, like an Outback, or if it's a CUV that is lowered.
I think it's a SUV.
The reason why I talk about it, though, is because I do think that companies like Lotus, hopefully, can start selling actual wagons that they've just lifted up a little bit with replaceable suspension components, so people like me can buy them later and just put wagon suspension in them
Yes.
and then have wagons. Because I'm so sick of CUVs.
I just want to. So a lot of people of our age mistakenly believe that Lotus can do no wrong.
That's not true.
That's not true, because I want you to control
Almost all
T,
they've done.
open up another tab, and type in Lotus Eclat.
Ugh.
Oh no.
I just want to remind people that this exists. So whenever anybody says, "Oh, it's Lotus," it's going to be good. Not necessarily so.
I've been following Rob Siegel, and he's actively working on one of these right now.
These could easily. Lotus is very capable of making trash,
Oh, yeah.
like the Eclat, the Excel. Yeah,
The Eclair. Oh, wait, no, that's a French pastry.
it's delicious. Maybe that's what they'll name this one, is the Eclair.
The Eclair. Ooh. That
I'd
would
be
actually.
okay with that.
As long as it's not the Eau Claire. The Lotus Eau Claire.
But
Ooh.
yeah,
I really hope that this isn't a freaking crossover.
it probably will be. It's gonna be an Eclat. Oh man, maybe they should bring back the name Eclat and just have that be their like one cursed name.
Damn it, I hit my microphone on my chin.
Yeah, like that could just be like their cursed like badge, is like the Eclat. Like every generation's terrible for a different reason.
But why
'Cause-
would they deliberately bring back a mark just to make it bad?
Well, so they don't sully a good mark. They're not Ford.
Is that why this has a number on it instead?
Well, all Lotuses have a number
Well,
until they come to production. They give it a real name once it comes to production.
well, fine. So yes, we're looking at the new 2023 Eclat.
It's a bad name.
It better be a wagon.
I just
And
hope it's
like,
the
is it combustion? Is it electric? Like, we
who
have no
knows?
data.
We know nothing about
We have
it.
this little like
I
silhouette.
I think that they should just have one cursed nameplate and call it the Eclat. Because this is the thing with the Eclat, is I should like it.
If it's a CUV, sure.
I should like the original Eclat. Like on paper, it's a checklist of things I like.
Isn't that a Rover V8 car?
I don't care.
Ah.
It's awful looking. I can't love it. It's a camback. It's got pop-up headlights. It's got a sloopy front nose. It's a
What was that?
wedge-shaped-
Was that
sloopy?
Sloopy?
Front nose. It's a
What does
little wed-
Sloopy mean?
It's swoopy, but
Oh.
yeah, swoopy something.
Okay.
It's got like random vents. It's got like a heat extractor on the hood. Like there's a lot of things that I should like about this. It's got cute like headlights. Like the headlights actually look cute. But the car itself is just a cursed piece of shit.
I saw that Kawasaki made a bike in the 80s with a pop-up headlight.
Yes, it did. Also, so did Honda. They made
interesting.
a moped with a pop-up
But
headlight.
like, it would just be up all the time when it's on, right?
No, not necessarily.
I thought it was like, well, in the U.S. anyway, you have to legally have your light on all the time when the
Yes.
ignition's on. But maybe in other countries you don't.
No.
Okay.
So that's a USA only thing.
Wait,
So-
you legally have to have lights on?
A motorcycle?
Oh,
when the ignition's on.
motorcycle, okay.
Yep. Yeah. No, God, no, not the rest. I'm not trying to
I was
say
like,
DRLs
can
are
we,
good.
like,
So you know how Acura released the new NSX, or not NSX, the new
The not Integra?
the Integra, and they nobody liked it. There's like 3 people that defended it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they also released NFTs to make sure those 3
Oh,
people changed their minds.
I don't like NFTs.
No, all right. So this is the things, I understand them, and like I dislike them for a different reason.
They have the capacity to do great things, but right now they're being used for the
Precisely.
most bullshit ever.
That's exactly how I feel about them. And
like, you could store data in the blockchain that you don't want to lose, and like it would simultaneously be taken care of by the entire network.
that's exactly
That is
how. That's
awesome.
very cool. Yeah. So like NFTs have theoretically can be cool, but
Like
they're just
shitty picture
they're
of a
being-
crappy ass Integra sedan. Bleh.
yeah, they're just being utilized in the worst way possible.
12 Ethereum?
Yeah, that's not cheap.
No,
That's over $30,000.
current exchange rate for Ethereum. I believe is around $3,000 or $3,400.
It's about $42,000.
Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a field day as soon as Acura came out with this. People were saying, "Yeah, hell yeah, it's an NFT, it's not fucking Tegra." But it's just like I don't know who's working at Acura, but it's like they're actively trying to sink the company.
yeah, they lost their minds.
Like they're just like, "Oh man, there's 3 people that were not mad about our Integra, so let's make sure we piss them off as well." They don't know.
So dumb.
They don't know what damage control is. They literally live in an echo chamber.
There's an ad right under this of two men kissing. Oh, I'm not
you.
even on that. There we go. Bam.
Oh, yes, you do have that. I don't have that ad.
Sponsored by Starbuster. There you go. But anyway, let me scroll back up for the people that are actually watching the Twitch, and we'll watch the YouTube. There you go. You don't have to spend $37,000 to look at a CVT.
What's with all the random pills around it?
I don't know. They're
It's
gold
surrounded by
pills.
pills.
Maybe those are the Viagras for the men on that ad. I don't
Current
know.
price. God, 12 Ethereum. Gross.
At the time of that screenshot, that
It
was
was
37,000,
yeah.
but I think it is more now.
It's 42 now.
Crypto's had a pretty good resurgence this week.
Whew. That's bad.
It's a terrible vehicle that nobody should really be paying attention to, even though you can get it with a 6-speed. But just get a Civic.
No, you
get a Civic.
can't.
What? I think you could.
Only the high trim level.
Yeah.
That's not the vehicle.
What?
You have to get a particular trim level of it. You cannot get an Integra. You have to get an Integra Type S to get a manual. Yeah.
That's dumb. Just get a Civic Type
That's
R.
like saying saying you can get an Integra with a manual is like saying yes, you can get a 3 Series individual throttle bodies, an M3, E46. Like,
well, or
a
E30, or Euro E36,
Yeah.
or E90.
But it's it's like you can't say that like, oh yeah, 3 Series come with individual throttle bodies, or like GTR, like R34 GTR said individual, or R34 said individual throttle bodies. Yeah, the GTR did, not the normal one.
Which is so weird because those are turbo cars.
Yeah, but it
whatever.
did actually make it works.
I'm sure it does. I mean, people turbo E46 M3s, but
Well, anyway, what I'm saying is like, by saying that you can get the car with a manual, no, you can't. You can get a trim level with a manual.
fine. You can get an Elantra with a manual.
Yeah, you can get an Elantra with a manual. Get
Also, apparently the Elantra N is really good.
yeah, that's why nobody bought Subaru STIs anymore. So Subaru also canceled.
Did you see the U-Drags thing yesterday?
No.
There was a video online where new channel, which is fascinating. They quarter-mile drag, and then you turn around after braking from that speed at a cone, and then you do a rolling
That's
on the way
actually
back.
really cool. Huh.
So it tests like all facets of the car. The new WRX just got absolutely
Destroyed.
destroyed.
Well, yeah. Well, because they're not even making an STI of it.
Yeah.
So
Like, weird, this car is pushing so much
Oh,
around
weird.
the corner.
Yeah, I guess we didn't note that in our thing. Yeah, they're not making the STI anymore.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. Like that Subaru's not been relevant for 10 years anyway, so might as well just
Yeah.
kill the last thing that anybody cared about.
You can get a WRX with a manual. But
Who cares?
yeah, I am the biggest proponent of manual transmission you will ever find, and that would not sway me.
I think I can honestly say I would rather take an automatic, not Subaru, over a manual WRX.
I would have to know what the not Subaru is, because there are like
There's-
a manual Integra versus an auto, or no, auto. No, okay, you know
know
what
what
I'm
you
trying
mean,
to
yeah.
say.
Well, no, I'm just trying to think of like an equivalent sports car. Like I think the WRX might be one of those cars where a manual is not solely enough to sway me towards wanting the car.
I would buy a DSG GTI over a manual WRX.
That would be a tough sale for me. I might be there. I think I would take an automatic Corolla. Like the
XSE.
XSE, yeah. I'd take that over a manual WRX.
I keep
'Cause
seeing those, by the way.
the-
Those are so good.
The manual WRX, like at the end of the day, you still have a gross sounding WRX with a glass engine.
Also, it looks like a crossover now with its big like plastic.
Yeah, it looks horrible. And so like,
They should
yeah,
just call it the Impreza Outback
that would be
Turbo.
cool. But like with like automatic Corolla, like, yeah, right. So I still have the low speed first gear, so it
Still a
feels
CVT,
yeah.
isn't it?
The rest of it is. It's got a manual first gear and a CVT after that. So it has a first gear to like, so when you first take off, it feels like a normal transmission.
Sure.
And then it switches to CVT after that.
I mean, I think
And then it's a programmed CVT, so it's like it's a little bit better. But I would take that over WRX, yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't have the world's ugliest WRX.
I just, man, and to your point, still a glass engine. It's a new engine, but they're going to find a way to make that terrible.
No, it's Subaru. It's a new engine. It's a Subaru. It will take them. It's not been around for 30 years yet. It took them 30 years to figure out the EJ, and then they killed it.
Well, ironically, the first year of the EJ was pretty sorted too, but it was the base EJ.
Yes.
The rest of them for eternity were awful.
Every other one was terrible. Yeah.
But if you got a first year 2.2 closed deck, you're probably all right.
Yeah. If you had 2.2 closed deck Legacy, yeah, you're okay. Everything else is terrible.
Even the little Impreza thing, like Mr. Doctor drove one of those. Ididina. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
They had a EJ15, a 1.5 liter EJ.
We didn't get that here, did we?
Yes, we did.
Really?
Base model, first generation Impreza.
Wow.
You could get a front wheel drive, rear drum brake, flat 4, automatic, 1.5. I would take that.
That's probably reliable.
I would objectively take that over a new WRX.
Boom, there we go.
Yeah, that is one where I will 100% take that any day.
All right, I want to talk, before we're done here, about recalls.
Yes.
These are becoming really commonplace. It seems like
All the
almost
time.
everything that's released now has got some seat belt or fuel injector O-ring or...
If I ride a car at
Yeah.
work and it's too new for me to put miles in the title,
Mm-hmm.
because like pretty much like any car made like 2019 and newer, we rarely put miles in the title because it's like they all are below 50,000 miles.
Sure.
Almost always when I'm writing the Carfax paragraph, that paragraph says something about there being an open recall. Yeah.
Well, it's because parts just still aren't available.
Everything
Yeah.
has an open recall. It's insane.
But the reason why I bring this one up, because I would never normally talk about this unless it was a Tesla, this is for a car that ended production 8 years ago.
I heard about this. This
What?
is wild.
So
Alright.
the GMC Terrain, the first generation GMC Terrain, is being recalled because the headlights are too bright.
Are there any left?
Apparently still 740,000. But I think the reason why, because GM has been silently TSBing these headlights as they come into the dealership for the last 3 years. But now they're recalling them because like there are still a lot out there that have open recalls. But somebody should tell them that these are all the ones that went into the junkyard.
Yeah.
I only have 740,000 left.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure there are not. We have one of these at work, and it's like a top trim 3-liter that's been very well maintained. And like, it's not long for this world.
No. I remember I sold one at work, and when I was working at Maury's, and the lady bought it. I tried to talk her out of it, but like I needed the sale. I'm just like, all right, whatever. You really want this car, so I can't talk you out of yourself. And she lived like in like Monticello or something.
yuck. Where
And-
dreams go to
yeah,
die.
Exactly. She got 3/4 of the way to her house, and an engine blew up.
Is that a 2.4?
No, it was a
3.0?
6-cylinder. The timing chain let go.
Yeah. Like, we knew from the get-go that the
This is
six-cylinders
the thing. It
were
didn't
going to
click.
be bad.
It wasn't clicking. 'Cause when I drove it, I'm like, I didn't hear any clicking. Cold start, no click.
Huh.
It just let go.
Well-
And when we towed it back, the timing chain had just something had sheared internally, and one of the old plastic bits broke. And
Gotta love that GM high-feature V6. Again, ours is
Why
a
did she go
ours
to
is a 3-liter.
Subaru dealership to buy a
God,
GMC?
that's why I was asking her the whole time.
Yeah.
But even the 4-cylinder has timing chain issues in that thing,
Yeah,
which
they
is
all do.
nuts. They all do.
This is why. All right, so you are a proponent of timing chains. I'm not.
I used to be.
Yeah, 'cause
until
I'm
they
like-
started putting tap water in crankcases for 20,000
It's not even
miles.
that. You put these engines, even if you put good oil on Volkswagens, you put 540 in it, and you're still breaking timing chains because you
Yeah.
have giant pieces of plastic that corrode. Like plastic and
I'm-
oil don't mix.
If I had enough money, I would buy, and I do mean buy, 2 brand new 4-cylinder BMWs, and I would have 2 people that drive a shitload drive these things and document it. I would dealer service one, and I would me service the other one. I guarantee the one that I service how I want will never break.
I'm sure it will last longer than the dealer one, but this is the thing: is they still have plastic timing chain guides. On VQs, why they go out is not because of watery oil. You put whatever oil you want in a VQ, the timing chains don't let go, because you have these giant, huge timing chain guides that are like over a foot long and are made of plastic, and they have 2 inches of metal like reinforcement.
They
right
still
where
have
the
to
bolts are.
eat into that, and the protection of the oil and the thinness of the oil. Like, it doesn't get all the way up the guide.
This is the thing: is the oil. Despite what they say, oil will react with those pieces of plastic. I've taken a brand new Volkswagen timing chain guide that we ended up not using because the whole engine was screwed and I couldn't return it. and a used one, and I hit them both on the same table, equal force, and the one in my left hand, which was saturated in oil, been in a car for like 10 years, shattered. The one on the right did not.
The BMW ones don't do that.
And
But
also, it was a little worn, but that guide was not the reason for why we were replacing it. There was a issue with the camshaft that did come up. It's a long story, but anyway,
I
the
do
guide
prefer timing
itself was
belts
like
now,
totally
though.
reusable.
Yes.
Yeah, so timing belts. That's why I'm like, timing belts are designed to be serviced. If something is designed to be serviced,
But in the 90s, chains. God,
yeah,
chains.
I would. Yeah,
I've taken apart
some.
so many 300,000-mile engines that have just like you pull the chain off the guide, barely a fingernail's worth of like wear in there.
I still say, if it's designed to be serviced, that's what I prefer. I prefer something that's designed to be serviced than a chain that's integral to the engine.
Yeah,
because
you should never have a timing chain in a transverse engine ever.
Precisely. And another thing, like, this is also why I'm belt over chain all the time, is that timing chain, by the time it fails, will have never been a problem for anybody and will be impossible to find. That timing belt, you will still be able to find it in an AutoZone anywhere, because the last 5 copies of that car will still need that part to keep it running.
But they will be 15-year-old stock.
But it'll be there,
Right. But
which is better than literally having no option.
yeah,
so I would
I'm
take-
sure there are applications where you're right.
Yeah, and so that's
yeah.
that's why, like, at the end of the day, you deal with cars that are kind of known quantities where people like actually collecting them, and there's always going to be an aftermarket for weird BMW timing chains.
Credit where it's due, they do make new runs. Like, you can buy all the timing components for an S14,
Exactly.
but it's like $20,000.
But, like, if I'm looking at, like, a first-generation Toyota Tercel that had a bespoke engine that you cannot find a timing chain for.
Great.
The second-generation Tercel had a timing belt. The second-generation Tercel, all those engines went out because the engine was poorly designed. They kind of just, like,
There's
threw it
the
together.
E-Series.
Yeah, it was the E-Series that
It's
actually
a
had
2E or a 3E.
Yeah, whatever.
They're terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're actually a problem. But you can find timing belts
Sure.
for E-Series engines. If you have a first-generation Tercel and the timing chain goes out, you're done.
Well,
You
can
can't.
just put a second-gen engine in it.
Now, they're different.
Of course they're different.
Yeah, because the first generation was longitudinal, second generation was transverse.
What the hell?
Yeah, dude, this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm always like, yeah, timing belt. If you're ever getting a weird car, just get it. If it has a timing belt, it's better, because I'd rather have a timing belt like can service, and the entire industry is designed about this part being able to be replaced in 25 years. Whereas, like, you are never going to be able to find a timing chain for a Terrain in 25 years.
No, God, no.
No, none. And the, like, one person with one left, that timing chain, they're going to try and replace it, and they're going to be able to find everything except for one guide. There's going to be one guide you will not be able to find. It's a screw up everything.
They're going to find it out of, like, a UTI demo engine that's been disassembled and reassembled 1,000 times and never run. It's never had oil in it.
It's never been run once.
Like, we've got a guide, $8,000.
Exactly. And so this is why, back to my thesis here, timing belts, I will always take over timing chains, and that is exactly
You
why.
need to do a PhD just so you can do a thesis on timing belts,
Timing belts,
so I can
yeah.
read it. And I hate reading, but I'll read it.
Just
through
like
and through.
my giant, like, 8-page paper on...
That's pretty short for a thesis.
Yeah, no, there's only so much to say. It's one component on a car.
That is true.
Well, here, let's end on a happier note. Before we click on the link, there was a factory in India that was run by Mercedes that was shut down. What do you think shut down the factory in India?
Cows.
Livestock for sure.
Okay, livestock. It was not livestock. What are things that shut down factories?
Water?
In the
Natural-
year 2022.
Chips?
Chips?
Chips shortage?
Chipset? No, not that. What do you think, honey?
Gives parts to the space program.
No, not that.
Russia?
Nope, not that. Why don't you click on the link and we'll find out? Because this link will... A leopard broke into the Mercedes
Buddy.
factory and shut it down.
Oh, he just wants pets. Look at him.
Yeah, he's a very cute little guy.
Murder kitten
Buddy.
needs love.
He broke in because it was air conditioned and it was hot.
Oh.
Yeah, that's him just laying down, chilling.
So I
Very
assume that-
cute.
I hope they hired him.
I know, right? They got him out safely.
Oh, buddy, look
Yeah.
at his eyes.
They got the animal conservation.
Oh, sorry.
They got the animal conservation corps to come in, wrangle the cat. And yeah,
Oh, look at him go.
yeah, he's a good boy. He's very, very, very cute.
Oh, him says such big murder mittens.
Yeah, he got tranquilized, and they brought him out, and they gave him food, and took him away, and he's safe. So everybody's happy,
That's good.
and everybody had a day off. So it's just a good story. There we go. That's
so
a good
much
story.
better. That leopard is so much better than a GMC Terrain.
Yeah, this is great. I love that. So leopard broke into a factory, got a day full of napping and air conditioning.
And you get to ride in that really adorable little K-van.
Yes, it's just great. Everybody's happy. It's great. This is a happy ending.
I'm going to keep watching this video.
A
So.
specific question for you, Eric.
Okay.
So, how do Tesla sensors work? Are they engaged like all the time?
Which sensors?
Like the
Like just
driving sensors and
So,
stuff like that?
they are, yeah. The earlier Teslas just had like parking sensors and cameras. Starting in 2014, they started adding a front-facing radar. In 2018, they took out the front-facing radar and they went back to cameras and sensors only. But yes, the sensors are active all the time.
How did this Tesla park 2 inches away from a semi?
Lots of loud noises, I think.
This was at a
Probably that's
stoplight.
got to be camera only. Because
I think lots of loud noises that went ignored.
probably has a
Yeah,
bar.
I was
right?
like, that must be really annoying to be in right now.
Well, yeah. If you're stopped, it will give you many warnings on the screen, but it won't make noise. But if you are moving at all and you're at that proximity, there are a lot of noises.
Yes.
Lots of
I think
beeps and
yeah.
bongs and.
I think that is just all the noise all at once.
I saw that while I was driving, or I was at a stoplight on Snelling, and I was like, okay. I was like, first off,
You know what? They're probably
balls.
doing it to get better fuel economy.
I was just, I was.
Get it? Fuel
Yes,
economy.
fuel economy.
Ba-dum.
Oh.
I'll be
did
here all
not
week.
click it.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. We will see
Bye.
you next week.